Hi everybody, brand new week. It's time for an MCN. Let's see what is happening in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions, because there's a few things that happened since Friday to put you in a picture of, also give you information of. I guess that first thing starts off with, where's that compensation? A week ago, we had the issue of, well, AQ raids not really working correctly, twice, if I remember rightly, and what is happening with that compensation? Of course, a lot of people were waiting for that. Unfortunately, it won't be dropping until today, or later today, because of course the question is, when is it happening? And Kabam said, hey folks, we're pushing to have these for you for Monday. Hopefully that is about 10 AM PST, or whenever AQ Raids goes live, which might be a little bit later on than that. It's just that players have that opportunity, as soon as it's in, go do it, rather than having to wait around. We'll have to see when it comes in, but I thought I'd update everybody that may be curious when they're going to get their compensation. Now, what about that nigh invulnerability or invulnerable crystal? You know, the one in game at the moment. The compensation, because people are owed compensation. It's these ones here. Oh, the nigh invulnerable crystal, which is right there. Some people opened up this early back last week, about Thursday time, early Thursday time, and were kind of greeted with not getting anything from it. As a lot of you know, the things you do get from it are these medallions here, dedication medallions, and blood, sweat and tears tokens. Both of a different type of exchanging. I've done a video on this. Some people have this particular event, some don't. Some people have a certain solo event, some people don't. Some people are confused, some people aren't. It's the crazy world of Marvel Contest of Champions. But there were people out there that would due some compensation. Of course, the medallions are important because they can be traded in for getting a 6-star or 7-star Chilf later down the line. The big answer on the compensation is as follows. The game team is preparing compensation for the nigh invulnerable crystals to be received in your mailboxes. However, I do not have an exact timeline, but should be soon. Stay tuned. I'll come back for an update in the morning PT after I sync back up with the game team again. I don't think that was re-synced back up again. So maybe that'll be coming through at some stage today, maybe tomorrow. I'll have to find out more details, but that was posted, for me, it was like it was Friday, so unless Dave plans to work on a Saturday, I don't think you're getting an answer. We'll have to see, but, you know, compensation will probably be coming in at some point this week. Now, a big question for last week, has the leader been nerfed? This is something we're going to go over to kind of clarify the question and see what's up. So this player put on Reddit, I didn't see any notes about the Green Door getting any changes. Did the 5 people who actually use him, notice the Green Door got significantly smaller, or am I imagining it? I am pretty sure when I used him last week, the door area was way bigger. He's already so mid. Okay. More clarification, because the door size is important. You know, say that to a female. You know, size of your door. You know, I've got a big door. You know, it's bigger than that person's door. I've got a massive door. Yeah. All joking aside, though, his door has got smaller. It usually happens. You know, and it happens. You get stage fright. You know, you get stage fright, stage door fright. Again, joking aside, it's a Monday. I know we're not waking up with kind of like, you know, crazy jokes here. I got the leader recently, and I was really happy about it, since it was one of my most wanted from the Titan pool, even if he's considered mid by the majority of the community. But after playing him, I had the impression that the Green Door was smaller than I remember. I checked some gameplay on YouTube, and it is smaller. The screen on the top is from a gameplay recorded month ago, and the second is mine. Is it a nerf or just a bug? I didn't see any note about a nerf, or maybe it's because nobody talked about it, since we're probably 5 that use it. It's the same person. Is it the same person? Same person from Reddit talking Josh, and no, anyway, it probably is. I didn't clock the name. I don't think. Can we get a name? Whatever. Anyway. Sounds like it's the same person, or it sounds like a joke. Anyway, now let's look into the story. Is the leader nerfed?
So, interesting story. I've seen, first of all, we'll take you to Reddit, then we'll go over to the forums. So this player, Josh times 3. I didn't see any notes about the leader's green door getting any changes. Did the 5 people that actually use him notice that the green door got significantly smaller? Am I just imagining it? Pretty sure when I used him last week, the door area was way bigger. He's already so mid. I think it's the same person that posts on the forum. There's the video version of it. You can see the door is, well, on the floor. And, it, small door. Whole door. You can see there the door size there versus the door size there. It's substantially smaller. At that particular distance, it's difficult when there's things in the... I'm looking at this like... This is like the vote for Doctor Strange versus... What's it called? Cyclops. And you're doing that kind of like measurement, pixel measurement of stuff. Yes, it does look smaller. You can see there. There's like edges there, 2 champions there, 2 champions there, and it should be, yeah, like by the knees of the champion. Similar fight or same fight. There's the knees there. There's the knee there, and the door is smaller. Small door. Interesting. Been mentioned in other posts already. He's got smaller for some reason. Bug. It's a bug. Blah blah blah. Yes, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I don't think Kabam have answered against it. And of course, people thought, I thought I was going crazy. Thanks for bringing it up. It could be a bug. There's a lot of moving parts with MCOC. Now they've got to figure out things that are traps on the floor. And them changing update to update. Anytime that I suspect they change things like UI, they change anything in game, it could muck up something else. So hopefully Kabam are onto this, hopefully they see it, and hopefully it's dealt with. And we'll have to check back later on towards next week and see if we've got an answer from Kabam on that particular subject. Very strange though, isn't it? And now, is there a bug or an issue or a problem with Count Nefaria being power drained in War? Now, this could be specific to this mode or could be the mode in general. We're going to investigate now into it and find out if there's any answers. First of all, of course, if you got lucky, well done, by the way, picking up that from those Valiant crystals that we got for free. And of course, when entered Ionic Overcharge against Tactic Defenders, I was steadily being power drained. It was so bad I could hardly get enough power to SP1. Going on to say, he's supposed to get 60% of the power denied, but I think somehow that power gain is being reversed on himself. I tried duels versus champions with power gain like Hyperion and the bug didn't happen there. So I think it must be some strange interaction with Alliance Wars tactics, and Alliance Wars is a different kettle of fish sometimes. AI, functionality, interaction, tactic interaction, general champion ability interaction, and other stuff as well that seems to be, at times lacking in consistency, because obviously people raise a lot of issues with the mode from time to time. And of course, yes, I hope they indeed fix it. I don't know how to upload a video, but it happened to me on Hazard Shift, Man Thing, as well as Kashala on node 38. Neither node affected power gain, which of course information is there. And of course, there's some screenshots of the fight in action as well. A couple of seconds later, without throwing a special or anything, my power is gone, which you can see there. It's obliterated into oblivion. Predator also said, I watched my recordings a few times and I think it has something to do with the tactic heal block. When it's not active, he's stealing power like he should. When the heal block gets activated, it seems to reverse the power gain. Again, these specifics of ability interaction with tactic interaction, and of course if there was a layer of defender interactions of abilities and other stuff, then it's like, oh man, there's layer upon layer of stuff that could go right or go wrong, and a lot of time it's going wrong. Of course, a lot of people are looking for a bit of a confirmation. We do get the following right here, which is, I've got eyes on this, we'll get this to the game team and get some answers. Likely though, you weren't there. Likely though, won't hear back until Monday at the earliest. Stay tuned. Hopefully we do get an answer. Hopefully there's a bit more kind of clarification on that one, especially because it's a brand new champion. You don't want to see these things because you're looking at him as an option. These new champions are meant to be options. The same way I think we're going to talk about that as being
I think that's what Kabam are doing with Champions and the Rebalance program, and going back to something, an age-old thing that Kabam used to do, but they didn't seem to do much of in the last couple of years, but it seems to be back. Let's talk about it. And yes, we end the show on the topic of rebalance. Of course, we know Destroyer is not being rebalanced. We now know Serpent is not getting rebalanced, or kind of like rebalanced, as I think Kabam have made it very clear they're not going to make any changes to the champion. There are counters out there. I'm not going to say there's not counters. Is the champion in its current state a bit tricky, a bit unfair? Yeah, debate. There's a strong debate to say that that is the case. Will Kabam create counters for that champion that will be incredibly more effective down the line? Yes. That's how Kabam seem to be with stuff. Will there be new counters or different options that come out from time to time to take on the likes of Serpent and, Destroyer? Yeah. Yeah, there is. Of course, on the subject, Kabam Crash has his, as say, cause people tagged Crash and was like, "Hey, you must get involved with this. Make it kind of like a plea for them changing things." So Kabam Crash said, "I don't have the time to read all 26 pages of this thread, but I read a lot of it, and since you tagged me, I will say what I know. The thread's title answers its own question. Serpent really isn't getting rebalanced. I had no idea whether or not this would be rebalanced. He would be rebalanced until I read the forum post. I could have asked our balance team, but I didn't bother. Why? Because I was agnostic to the results. If they had said he was too strong and needed to be rebalanced, I would have trusted them. They concluded he is having the meta impact that was intended, and I trust them. So for me, now it's about getting better fighting him and strategizing in Battlegrounds based on the meta, either ban him or include enough counters that I can deal with him. Right now I've been banning him, but I just duped my Luke yesterday, so I might start leaving him open to see if it gives me an advantage. I don't really think there is another anything else for me to say. The balance post is the team's official position. And of course, I guess that's, there's nothing that can be done in all of this. I always find these particular stances very difficult, especially with the rebalance program. I don't know in the last few rebalances, especially with the Silver Sable situation, maybe with this and maybe with Destroyer, that I'm kind of like confident, I think is the right word, confident in these particular lines of dealing with, okay, well, these where they land in the game, but I don't know if Kabam are changing their stance on, say, bringing in new champions that down the line, or they know of new champions coming down the line, or they know of reworks that they're doing down the line to champions. Remember, we don't have that announcement of those reworks that could be coming. A lot of reworks, they said. Could Kabam have already built together champions, or have an idea that champions are going to be built to counter, and they're like, well, everybody's going to... Here's a good example. Iron Fist. Say hypothetically, Iron Fist is going to have a buff or rework that is going to be a solid counter to Serpent. And because a lot of people have Iron Fist, or some of the champions that could be coming down the way, then it doesn't really matter what the rebalance program does. The same way that could be a Science champion coming. Count Nefaria, for example. Is Count Nefaria the go-to, or could be? I haven't had time to test him out. But if he was going to be the best counter to Destroyer, because I think he has like a degen resistance, like if he's got that, then he surely is a somewhat counter for that. Likewise, there could be more champions like that coming down the line, and Kabam might be aware of it, so that's maybe why they're not doing those particular changes. I mean, Silver Sable was a bit of a kind of a anomaly in that, because that should have been a champion that was bumped up in attack, but quite clearly wasn't. So, there's a lot to think about with this. There's a lot of layers to this onion of rebalance system, but yeah. It's a tough one. I mean, I would use America Chavez as my counter to Serpent. There'd probably be another couple of champions that I'd use as well, effectively against him. But we have to then apply the 1% of the Mystic line is going to be the better counters, or 1% of or like a very small percentage, are going to be counters to these particular mammoth defenders. And yeah, I don't know. Like I'm looking at this going like I don't see why they wouldn't make the changes. Like it's a bit unfair, but hey, I guess that's MCOC at the end of the day. It can be incredibly unfair when you want it to be fair as a game, but hey, we move on to the next champions, and then fingers crossed for the next rebalance situation. Oh, and adding to that thing about Silver Sable, also Ironheart as well, before I forget. So there's a lot of kind of like weird stuff with the rebalance system and the rebalance team as well. It just depends who's in that team. What's the standard that's like? What level of people, player? How is it assessed? Again, a lot of questions as to like how the assessment process is done with it, as to where they come to these conclusions as a result. But anyway, it is what it is. We move on. That's the end of the show. What are your thoughts on some of the topics we talked about today? Have your say in the comments. I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.